American 297, LA Center, climb and maintain, level 230. 230, American 297.
Alright folks, good evening. How are y'all doing? Let's see if anybody's out there.
Delta 427, contact SoCal approach 124.
It's actually working. Looks like it.
45, Delta 427.
Looks like you've even got a pretty good connection. So folks, we're live right now, just on our way to Ventura.
Hey, how do we send a display?
Well, I can see it like that.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get some VGM going too.
Okay.
And what you guys are hearing too is
Delta 2861.
we've got all of air traffic control alongside us.
Delta 3759. Contact SoCal approach 124.5. 124.5, check 37.
Oh yeah, the shaky cam is, unfortunately, there's kind of on a mount that takes a lot. Let me get you all some background music here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm actually kind of shocked that anybody's here. Much less the fact that somebody actually submitted questions. So, while I try to get the audio set up, I've got my lovely co-pilot here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello guys. I call myself Violin Bird. You can call me Jay because I'm a jailbird. Yeah, I like to go to anime conventions, bring my violin, so if you see me at OffKai playing violin, that's me. In real life,
Santa Barbara approach 125.4. 125.4, Delta 729.
I'm a fellow airplane pilot.
431 Romeo Alpha, climb and maintain 12000. The Oxnard altimeter 2982.
2982 and up to 12,000 for 1 Romeo Alpha. Alright, we've been cleared to our final cruising altitude of 12,000 feet. Alright, go ahead.
Yep, and airplane pilot, but I'm pretty out of practice. I am an air traffic controller, so if you have any questions about that, I will be more than happy to answer what I can.
November 9er 86 Tango, LA Center, the Oxnard altimeter 2982.
I got to work with a lot of controllers in SoCal in my previous job, and then that got me into air traffic controller. Now I'm in the Bay Area, actually doing the job. Still in training.
872, contact SoCal approach 134.35. 134.35. Good day.
Wow, that is really shaky.
Yeah, the ride is much smoother than it looks on camera, don't worry. It didn't seem this shaky before.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Direct ND. Direct ND, American 297. Center Delta 466, 280, sitting to be the level. Scout 3466, LA Center, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982.
What level of ADC do I do? So I work at a center. Yeah, so there's 3 levels. There's a terminal, which is the towers you see at the airport. And there's TRACOM, and that's approach control. They kind of work like around the busy areas of the country, like around busy airports. And then we go up to
2177, contact
centers,
124.5.
which work all of the en route traffic across the country. I happen to work at Oakland Center. And then there's a really neat website called 123 ATC. They give a list of all of the FAA towers and what levels they are and their pay scales. If you ever have any questions about ATC, there's actually an ATC hiring Discord and an ATC hiring subreddit. And they have all the information you'll ever need on how to get into ATC and what it's like.
Alaska 1202, LA Center, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982. 282, Alaska 1202. American 2061 to direct SOAP. Direct to, American 2061. LA Delta 59, check in, turning out at 27. Fireman, and, Delta 1559, LA Center, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982. So, 1559.
Just correcting back on course now.
Yeah, so we just passed Ventura. What you can see here, actually, I'll pan the camera. We just passed Point Magoo, so that's just off of our left main gear. On the Defiant, the main gear does not retract, it's just the front nose gear.
This is Jet 749, LA Center, the Burbank altimeter 2981. Center low, Southwest 1987, follow 370.
We're almost at 12,000.
Yep, 800 to go.
1987, LA Center, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982. 2982, Southwest 1987. LA 9193, Buckable 330, this is via the 9193, LA Center, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982. Roger. LA Center, level 119, flight level 310, is a proper 371. Level 119, LA Center, the Burbank altimeter 2981. 2981, level 6.
You can see here, ATC tends to be pretty busy. We actually, as small little planes, get to talk to the same ATC as Southwest and the big folks.
3466, contact SoCal approach 124.5. 124.5,
And so what's funny is, I work in the sector that manages a lot of the traffic around Central California. So actually pretty soon, I'll be talking to some of my coworkers.
Coming on the way home. Autopilot checked back in. It's really funny that the webcam, the camera outside that's being exposed to like 180-mile-an-hour winds is fine, but the one inside is shaky. I don't really know how that works.
I wonder if it's the cable. Yeah, let me.
I feel like if it had some mass to hang off of it, it would work a lot better. Anyway. Wow. And let's see.
So what can VFR-GA dudes do to make our lives easier at the center? So we do get a lot of VFR fight following pop-ups, so if you guys are requesting fight following, just go ahead and be like, hey, this is November 123 requesting fight following. because usually we're not expecting people to suddenly call us out of the blue. So if you just give us our call sign and your request for flight following, then that'll give us time to be ready to copy all the information we need.
Alright, we're getting ourselves just established in cruise here, fellas, so give us just a second. I do have background music, but the surprising thing is, let's see. Alrighty, let's see here. The audio setup here is actually a little bit interesting. The thing that's a little bit wonky is I'm trying to add the audio panel as a audio output, but it won't let me. I don't know why.
25
Let's see. And again, if you're just tuning in, thank you. What you're hearing is basically what we're hearing up in the cockpit, including all of the air traffic control. Somebody asked, why is it so noisy? It's really staticky.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is, so the radios on my plane don't have the best antennas. There's also a lot of interference from the ignition systems. So those two effects are really, really bad. In fact, we've got one antenna on the left winglet, actually. Let me see if I can pan it around. So this here, over where Bay is, has one antenna. And that's my good comm antenna. On the other side, which you can't see, behind the cockpit, we've got another comm antenna in that winglet, basically where Crony is. But unfortunately, very unfortunately, it got damaged in an incident early on in this plane's history. So if I try to use antenna number 2, it sounds like absolute crap. So.
And also, if you're listening to like live A2C on the web, usually those are like hobby radios, like on the ground, so their reception can really depend.
Yeah, so let's see here. Let me try to see if there's any image stabilization on the camera. No autofocus.
Yeah, and radio reception is also a problem for air traffic control. Sometimes we're trying to switch between transmitters.
Yeah, how does it sound on our side, on your side, when, like, does it sound clearer than what you hear in the plane?
United 1221, LA Center, roger.
Yeah, sometimes it varies. Like, sometimes there's like, deaf spots where, like, we can hear the pilot, but they can't hear us, and vice versa.
Let's see here. Who do we have in chat? Are there any GA planes with good radios? SWR, my comm 1 is 1.6 to 1. Mine's about 1.2 to 1 on the good antenna, and it still sounds bad.
9193, contact SoCal approach 124.
Since I'm an experimental, and I know, unfortunately, a little bit of antenna theory, I checked out my SWR meter and tried to get it going, and I couldn't get it much lower than that. So when I eventually try to take this international, so either Europe or Hawaii or Japan, I'm going to have to do a HF radio, and my hope is that I'll have one of the best HF experimental radio setups. We'll see. I'm cooking some interesting stuff there.
Do you think we could see the sunset with the outside camera?
Yeah, let's try it.
It's getting... Yeah, it's a really nice view up here. The inside camera is very shaky.
Yeah, come on. All right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sunset. And like, I'm holding up the display, the computer display for our captain, Cyan. While keeping an eye on the...
There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty nice.
Nice.
All right. Haruiko asks, Cyan, when are you going to repaint the Defiant?
SoCal approach 128.75.
My plan for that...
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, my plan for that is going to be... I have actually got somebody working on the ramp right now. It just requires... just requires a little bit more work for the wrap. Oh man. So what we're seeing here on the sunset is we're seeing like this sort of runny egg yolk. That's great. Stuck out there.
And it's the 501 is good evening, that is level 330. We have good descent via the Aventure arrival. Here's a 016 LA Center, good evening, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982. Roger, as you just said, 292.
How are you feeling? You're not getting motion sick looking back and forth?
No, I'm alright. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
LA, good evening, Sun Country 8502, descending 36 to Ryder. Sun Country 8502, LA Center, the Los Angeles altimeter 2982. 2982, Sun Country 8502.
Alright, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Looks like Sun Country is the
That's Tulan.
call sign for Amazon freight flights. My favorite call sign is probably Upjet. Their three-letter identifier is WUP, so we just call them Whoopjets.
Whoopjets.
Whoopjet.
Let's see here. Do I take the Defiant or the Very Easy out to any fly ends? I used to be really good about flying to... Mojave Airport has a experimental fly-in every month. Oh, they have a fly-in every month, and the experimental fly-in is once a year. Nephi, and it's a really big deal. I used to go maybe every 2 months, but it's very easy. But work's been really busy, so I haven't had a chance to get out.
Negative in this frequency, and you can expect to talk to Santa Barbara as soon as we begin your VFR descent. Hey, check Tango, I appreciate that.
Center Big Shark 179, flight level 310, descending via the Rockland Breeze.
Big Shark 179, LA Center, the Burbank altimeter 2981, and I might have missed it. Do you have a bottom altitude for the descent clear?
2981, yeah, I totally missed it. Accept me to 11000. Thank you, Big Shark 179.
Big Shark 179, thank you. FLO 119, contact SoCal approach 128.75. 128.75, 119, sir.
Someone earlier asked how long I've been at Oakland Center. I've been training there for about a year now, and before that there's like half a year that you spend at the academy in Oklahoma. That's where they send all of the ATC trainees. And that was, I'll call it like the most stressful fun I've ever had in my life. And I'll never want to do it again. Surprisingly, there's a lot of good food in Oklahoma, though. I thought it was going to be very bland. So if you're ever in Oklahoma, at least you have good food there. And a lot of people don't want to go to California for whatever reason. Like, people who come from California want to stay in California, and everyone else wants to stay away from California. I don't get it. And what I mean by that is like at the end of your training, depending on how well you place in your class, you get to select facilities from top of the class, first pick, and so on. But Oakland Center is actually volunteer only. You have to want to go to Oakland and apply for it.
Why'd you pick Oakland?
I wanted to stay in California, and LA Center is in the middle of Palmdale, in the middle of a nowhere desert, and that's no fun.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, I think I've got a little bit of background music now. That actually work for y'all? Let's see here. Other questions. How do other canard owners react to the near plane? I think all people actually think it's pretty cool. I think they're like, oh hey, yeah, like it's something different. I think the meanest I've ever heard, not from the canard owners, only online. I think everybody that I've met in person is like, this is pretty neat. There was one person who said it wasn't really his style, but that was fine. Let's see here. Let me see if I can pull up the couple of marshmallows that did come in. Moth asks, what speed are you cruising at? Our indicated true airspeed right now is 160 knots. Let me increase that. I filed 165, and usually that takes me about 2 hours to get to San Francisco. So a little bit faster. 165 knots is around like 195 miles an hour, and I don't know what that is in kilometers per hour.
Oh, what the fuck is a kilometer? Oh, another thing, you guys heard it first here, but I also bought a Long Easy. And it's not airworthy yet, it's going to take a while, because it still needs to be put together and flight tested. But I do want to have it wrapped up with VTubers as well. So,
1855, connect SoCal 128.75.
don't hold your breath though, but soon.
That's right, we're gonna have an ETA plane fleet. It's gonna be great. Do you want to say who you're wrapping it with?
So we say on one side,
Very nice.
ASCII on the other side. They're just so beautiful together.
And ASCII actually really likes plane stuff,
Yeah,
right?
she did the like the flight radar stream and Microsoft Flight Simulator stream, and that was awesome. I loved it. It's so weird of her to like on her flight radar stream, like just reacting to like all of these planes and these locations. Like I have seen those before.
And let's see here. Thank you, Sparky, for tuning in. Your art's great. I'm very sad that Starship had to be the subject of a little bit of controversy. I'm glad everybody was safe, but yeah, it's no fun if somebody gets into trouble. And
016, connect SoCal 124.5. 124.5,
I will say, adding the streaming component, I was talking to some of my friends and other streamers, and I was like, I don't know how you guys do it. It's really difficult, and I think flying while streaming is just a little bit beyond the pale. It's definitely a two-pilot operation. If I was trying to do this myself, I'd be like, what the heck am I doing? Luckily with two people, we've got enough attention to make sure we're both flying. We're both pilots, so keeping ourselves honest here.
Still not the greatest idea in the world. I wouldn't recommend it.
This is probably going to be a one and done. I thought it was interesting. One of the things that I'm really happy about is that this is entirely Starlink stream, and it seems to have been pretty solid. Especially when you're going nice and straight and flat. Things are actually acceptably okay. Alright. Marshmallows. So somebody asked, when are you going to fully repaint the Defiant? Let's see here. So I need to repaint the Defiant really before I add a wrap. And the question is just time. I'd like to get it repainted sometime this year. It's going to be kind of difficult to do that with the schedule though, so...
Alaska 1139,
I mean, we'll see.
I
know that the cowls are like mismatched gray, and the top and the bottom paint's getting real beat up. So that's not great. 4.5. What? Oh, I'm getting a little nervous. Did I miss, like, we haven't handed over sectors yet, right?
No, it should be a while. I'm not too familiar with LA's airspace, but we should get into the next sector past Fellows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
closer to red.
Nice. It's actually really interesting. The outside camera is really capturing some really nice views. I'm surprised that it's got such good light performance. What I've got out mounted here is like a 360. What is it? It's the 360 X4. Let me see if I can take a picture of it. Just sort of hanging out.
That's a very beautiful, like, color palette that the camera's picking up. Very nice.
Only gripe I have about the stream is around the 1 minute latency. Yeah, I haven't tweaked my OBS settings, and unfortunately I'm sort of splitting my attention here, whether or not it's the latency between me answering questions or whether that's just how I react to people when I'm flying. I think it's a little bit of both. Somebody asked, how stable is the plane net? Will it work in space for those of us working on planetary domination? Asking for a friend. You tell me. I think it's actually been pretty good. My streaming bitrate right now is about 6.8 megabits, and I've always had pretty low drop frame rate. We're reading 6% dropped frame, so not bad. If I do a speed test right now, what does it do? So right now, we're getting about 330 megabits down. Not bad. And then let's see the upload kill in the video stream.
SoCal 128.75.
Let me pop this on screen for you guys. surprisingly good internet. I don't know if I dropped out while I did the speed test. But if we're trying to watch Netflix, like, we'll do great. Alright. Let's see what this one says. I don't know if anybody has asked this before, why Uchans? I know a near Cessna 152 wouldn't be as cool as a Defiant or a Very Easy, but I'm just curious on why and how you got both of these ETA planes. So the reason for this is actually a little bit longer. So I got into aviation because one of my friends like, hey, yeah, everybody's asking about why don't you get a flying car? Well, a flying car is a plane, and they said you can just go out and get your pilot's license. I flew Cessnas for a long time, and then a friend actually was upgrading out of his Very Easy, so that's how I came into possession of that one. I loved it. I loved the plans. The community was really cool, and I was like, I really like your CAD designs. So I started building a Cozy 4.
431 Romeo Alpha, passenger with altimeter 2986.
2986, 1 Romeo Alpha. Alright, great. Give us a new altimeter setting. So what we're, in terms of just really liking the community, liking the folks that...
Say again? 431 Romeo Alpha, your type aircraft is a GE Delta Echo Foxtrot India, Def-I, is that right?
Affirmative, twin engine piston.
Thanks for catching that. So, when I got the Very Easy, I was like, oh, I definitely want to do an ETA thing. And the nice thing is that because it's an experimental, it's different from like a 152 or 172. For those, you have to use certified parts, certified components only. So as a result, it's really hard to modify them. You basically need to have a real mechanic go ahead and approve your changes. So a wrap, they exist, but it would be pricey. But since the Very Easy was low cost, or is experimental, I could do it myself for a low cost. And that's another reason why I got into the Defiant and the Cozy, the Rutan designs. I wanted to, for sure, to stay in the experimental realm. Alright, we're just going to do a little bit of flying stuff here. So where are we? We're
approaching fellows.
Yep, and we have about an hour and a half left. About an hour left. So we're making good time. I think the most important thing on these flights is you want to just maintain situational awareness. It's easy to get a little bit sidetracked and just lose track of where you are. We've got the autopilot, so that's keeping our course. We're listening to air traffic control. We're on an IFR flight plan. So just making sure that the systems of the plane are good, and making sure that everything is, the engine is happy. Let's see here. Alex Bandog asks, how long was it before you got comfortable with the Very Easy? That took me a while. It took me about a year, I would say. The trick is to fly it a lot. I didn't fly it nearly as much as I should have. But I think once I got like a couple dozen landings, I was like, okay, I kind of understand what this plane is. When I took up the plane for the first time, I actually didn't land it the first 2 times because I was coming in so fast. It's a much slipperier plane compared to the others that I've learned it. What I'm doing here, I just want to dim this. The thing is...
time when restricted, total 230. Are you all checked in? So, Q2 Mike Echo, Los Angeles Center, 10 to Obispo, altimeter 2988.
With the single seat, what I did was I actually got my friend to take me up. I sat in the back seat to try and see how it looks like when it lands. But because the seating of it very easy is front and back, it's not it's tandem seating. It was actually really difficult. And the pilot's manual for the very easy just says, be proficient in another plane and just be a good pilot. So. One more marshmallow. Good morning, Cyan. What is your opinion on Gavin and Elva from 7 Deadly Sins? I haven't seen it, so unfortunately I don't know. Some other folks submitted questions, but I didn't get a chance to download them, so let me just answer them. Somebody asked, what is that antenna at the bottom right of the Defiant? So, let's see here. Depends on what you're talking about, bottom right. If you're talking bottom right of the 360 cam, what we're sort of centered in on here, this is actually the pitot tube. So, this is a little tube that sticks out into the air and tells me how fast we're going.
I think they may also be wondering about the rudder.
Oh yeah, down here. So this is the rudder. The rudder on the Defiant is weird. It's on the front of the plane, and there is no rudder back here. So the stabilators, these guys, there's no moving surfaces on them. They're just flat. There's fins that don't move. So yeah. Somebody asked, are you planning on making another ETA plane livery? I am. Well, I should say my co-pilot here has a plan. I don't think I'm making another ETA livery anytime soon. That's a lie. I have a plan for the Defiant. I don't have a plan past the Defiant. So I do want to get it rewrapped with a full body wrap. I've already started to commission some art. Hopefully I'll be able to show that off once it gets a little bit further.
Hawaiian 34, Los Angeles Center, thank you, Los Angeles, altimeter 2982.
I'm also just trying to think ahead. One of the things that you have to do when you're flying is
At 14, Los Angeles Center, thank you, Los Angeles, altimeter 2982.
you want to be really ahead of the plane. So we've got about an hour out. I think what we're going to do for the stream is, I would like to keep on streaming. I think we might not say much. I think we might be busy just managing the systems and getting down, but I would like to show you all what it looks like as we land and what it sounds like in San Jose as we land. So we'll see how good the internet is, probably once they start.
Control 50, fighting up 29 or 5, exit around traffic, expect network with the next section.
Yeah, like kind of going off of what he said about like staying ahead of the airplane, like in air traffic control, like the mindset of just focusing on yourself as a pilot versus now you have to come up with a plan for every single plane that's going to enter your airspace. It's like, okay, where's this guy? What's his route of flight? What's his traffic? and what do I need to do with it, and just pre-planning for every single one of those airplanes. It's it takes a lot of practice. Yeah, like all of my training is like I just have to keep thinking about that. If you didn't know, like every facility, and what I mean by facility is like, you know, towers and TRACONs and centers, every entity, they have what they call letters of agreements between each other. So it's like, hey, aircraft going to this airport on this route, we want them at this altitude towards this fix, for example. And then, hey, these are restricted airspaces that they have to miss, etc., like like a whole variety of different things. So those are letters of agreements, and we have to take those into consideration. And they're always changing, so like when it changes, we have to study them again. And then similarly, standard operating procedures. So within the facility itself, then like for example, a center has many different areas, and they all have their like different rules. So SOPs, that's how they agree to, like that's the kind of rules that they establish for themselves. So LOAs and SOPs. All throughout my training, like so easily, like we would run like scenarios on like a simulator, and then I would just be like completely overwhelmed, like I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah, then the 431 Romeo Alpha, kind of go from center 128.7.
128.7, 1 Romeo Alpha.
Alrighty, here are my coworkers.
That's also us crossing halfway point for America, or for California, which is great. Oakland Center, November 431 Romeo Alpha, 12000.
431 Romeo Alpha, Oakland Center, deep pass rolls altimeter 2986.
2986, 1 Romeo Alpha.
1 Romeo Alpha, NorCal usually likes us to give you Clyde direct. Would you like that, or do you want to stay on the T route? I'm sure NorCal's probably fine with either at this point.
I'm good with Clyde direct, 1 Romeo Alpha.
1 Romeo Alpha, roger, you are clear direct Clyde, direct San Jose.
Direct Clyde, direct San Jose, 1 Romeo Alpha.
I'm debating if I want to do a shout out to my center right now. I gotta do it.
Alright, go.
Oakland Center, this is number 431 Romeo Alpha. Juliet November's on the plane. How's everyone in Area South doing?
1 Romeo Alpha, we're doing okay for this time of the evening. Could you say again the initials?
Juliet November.
1 Romeo Alpha, good to talk to you, thanks.
It's actually really neat what they do on, I didn't know that, but also let me just cross-check me. Collide, not Collide, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. Thought so. It's really interesting that in air traffic control you guys like go by your initials. It's kind of like...
Yeah, we always call each other by our initials.
say one of the things that I'm actually really looking forward to. So normally we get information as we enter. When you land at an airport, there's something called an ATIS, basically transmitting information at really busy airports, like saying, hey, this is the runway we're landing, this is what the wind is, this is what the altimeter is. At really busy airports like San Jose at San Jose or LAX, they have something called a D. And the D ATIS is basically like a digital ATIS. It's actually like a synthesized human voice, and it's really hard to listen to. So now that I have internet here, streaming to all of you.
Delta from center, my cellular altimeter is 2973.
I can just pick up the D ATIS and then I won't have to listen to that at San Jose. Thank God. I've got San Jose information zero.
Welcome to center, maintain 17,000, the present altimeter is 2975.
Let's see here. What am I doing right now? So, what we're doing is we're taking in this really nice sunset. It's actually the sun is fully down past the horizon right now. It's actually brighter on stream than it is in person. And I'll point us back to where Bay is. Really cool to see these two wings on the 360 cam. Sort of tracking, like, I don't know if I'll be able to show it because the camera vibration is so rough. But I can, let me see if I can turn on autofocus here. So what I've got are three displays. So I've got my sort of our altitude, or we call it the PFD. It shows you where you are, what your attitude is. And as well as the engine displays on my right hand here. So just looking at, what speed the engines are running, what the battery voltages are, like what the fuel pressure looks like. And then on the left here, what we've got is basically a giant moving map. The center is our GPS unit, and I think it's actually bugging out because the backlight isn't dimming. I've run into that before, it's kind of annoying. Usually a power cycle fixes it. And then down here, we've got UOL on a portable USB-C monitor. That's how we're checking chat. You want to share how you got into flying? I think I told my story about it being sort of a flying car type of deal, but
yeah. So when I was little, I lived underneath the traffic pattern of an airport, and I didn't I was always fascinated by those airplanes, and I didn't realize that I was the odd one out until later in high school. I was like, wait, not everyone is interested in airplanes? What do you mean? And then later, then I realized, oh, there's actually a job that I can go to college for. So that's what I did. I went to college, flying, got my private instrument commercial, and I was on my way to flight instructor, to become a flight instructor, but then COVID hit, and then I was working as we call it a remote pilot operator, and they're not drone pilots. What they do is they're air traffic control simulator assistants, and they pretend to be the pilots for these simulators. Mine was a tower simulator, so it's like a dark room with a giant 360 display, and it looks like kind of like Microsoft Flight Simulator on the displays, but like we're at computers behind them, clicking and instructing the planes as they give the instructions, and then we read it back to them as the pilots. So that's what my job was, and it was so much fun, and then that kind of got me into air traffic control, so
That's pretty cool.
I actually got to take Cyan up to LAX Tower and a tour up there. They actually have like a catwalk, and we got to go.
That was a lot of fun.
That was amazing. Getting to see LAX from up there was awesome.
Let's see here.
Yeah, if you know anyone who's like kind of interested in a job or like in aviation and want to dip your toes in it, like look up remote pilot operators. Some should show up. I don't know. Yeah, just give it a look if you know anyone who might be interested. That's probably the closest job you can be to an air traffic controller without actually being an air traffic controller.
Let's see here. Kariko asks, USB-C monitor, not a laptop. Yeah, so we have a monitor. It's actually, or we have a laptop that's running this entire setup. It's in the back. The reason I decided to use the USB-C monitor is because we can swing it around. So in the case that, you know, something happens and I want to just concentrate on flying, it's easy to unplug the USB-C monitor and just forget that you and chat are there, and I'll just let the stream do whatever you want, right? Like if for some reason I'm finding I'm losing my flight controls or the autopilot is glitching out on me, it's really important to remember that we're still at the end of the day responsible for flying ourselves and responsible for being safe. So USB monitor allows us to sort of easily get the stuff out of the way. What I've actually got is I've got like a trackball that I'm using to interact with the laptop, and then we have a little one of those tiny Logitech keyboards. It's actually working out pretty nicely. We got like a full setup here. The laptop's actually pretty nice. So it's a Lenovo ThinkPad P1. So it's got I think a 3080 in it. And that's really nice because then we'll be able to. I got it originally for some stuff at work. But I was able to repurpose it for it. It's actually kind of nice. I don't know if y'all can see it, but on the 360 cam, we're passing over some...
Here, 5 Delta Delta, potential traffic for you, 1 o'clock in 15 miles, looks like they're turning again towards Visalia. Type unknown, altitude indicates 3,500.
There's like a little town over there in the distance.
Delta Delta, were you planning on just canceling services with me, or do you want to talk to Fresno Fresh for a little bit? 5 Delta Delta, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change of bridge, have a good night.
Yeah, it looks like Paso Robles.
Oh, is that Paso Robles?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I've heard that Paso Robles is really cool. I don't know if it's Paso Robles or another one.
Yeah, 3518,
But
apparently
their FBO has free ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Free ice cream.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, an FBO is sort of like the private terminal. When a private jet flies into an airport, they don't land and pull up to the normal gates. They have a private terminal, and they're called FBOs, fixed base operators. I like to think of them as basically gas stations deluxe. They offer the gas, that's the most important thing, but they also have services like, this is where catering comes from, or if you need to get your toilet dumped, right, they're the ones who take care of that. So, really nice FBOs. They treat both the little guy like us and the big private jets similarly. And honestly, the little guys can fly in because we're sort of we're a rounding error on the big guy's fuel budget. So I'm always really pleased when an FBO still gives us good service, because, you know, we also got to start somewhere. So if an FBO treats me well, I always try to go back to them.
Yeah, I flew to Bakersfield once, and they literally rolled out the red carpet below my little pitiful Cessna 150.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the fuel truck came up and rolled out the red carpet.
Just going to maintain 11,000, the Fresno altimeter 2976.
That wasn't for us, right?
I do not know.
Fresno altimeter, we're nowhere close to Fresno, so.
Oh yeah, 6, readback's kind of a little weird. Caught that you got the altitude descent 1,000, and then the Fresno altimeter 2976.
As for qualifications to be a remote pilot operator, you don't really need any. Aviation background is obviously nice, but I had coworkers who were just going to college studying aviation, but like didn't really have any experience. If you just have some job experience, or like college experience, like just generically, but yeah, you don't need to really have an aviation background to become a remote pilot operator, but that obviously helps. Like even if you just like only have a few hours as a student pilot, that helps a ton.
As the sunset sort of fades out here, the cameras are having a really hard time also tracking it. I'll give you a last sort of pan around here. What you're looking at in the front, so that's actually our landing light. So if I turn it off, then we won't see anything. I'll probably turn it back on once we get into busier airspace. I don't like having the headlights on.
3518
When you're on a busy road, you want to be able to see that.
Skywest 3518, contact Fresno approach 119.6.
Yeah, over to the right side here, the opposite side of the camera, so you can't really see it, but like you can see like the city lights in Central Valley. It's really pretty.
Yeah, I will say, like, looking at the sunset is one of the reasons I love flying. It's really, really nice and calm up here. Wow, when you're flying tiny planes, depending on where you are, the afternoons can be really, really rough. In the southwest, you just get bumped around by all the thermal activity. But out on the coast, it's usually pretty nice almost all day. If there is like those funny looking clouds that are these nice smooth clouds, if there are the clouds that look like the ones that you would draw as a kid with the bumps, that's usually indicative of, man, one, there's moisture coming out of the air, and two, because they're bumpy, there's convection that's going in and throwing the air around and causing that water to precipitate out to form the cloud. So it tends to be pretty bumpy when you actually see real clouds like that. Nice thin, like seriously wispy clouds. That means really good weather.
So is there a specific flash pattern the headlight has for other aircraft to see you?
There isn't. So some aircraft, or at least mine doesn't, some aircraft have this feature called a wigwag light, and they sort of like blink, they alternate, they'll like flash landing light on one wing and then flash one landing light on the other wing, so it looks like, you have these strobes on and off. This thing doesn't have that.
Like a Miata.
Yeah, right? Like a Miata, except, yeah, it's like a winking Miata. But for me, I just have the straightforward lights. So what I have on my plane are strobe lights. They just have like sort of flashing white, and then on the left is the red light, on the right is the green light, and on the forward I have just the landing light, which just stays on. So like, I think when we get switched over to NorCal, that's when I'll turn our landing light on and then keep it on. But for now, you can sort of enjoy the view.
Remoth asked, do you still have the Miata?
Oh, I feel really sad about the Miata. I do have the Miata. The Shirobako wrap that I used to have on it it is crispy, very crispy, and so I gotta turn off the wrap. It was misfiring, and I need to see what it was.
Oh, I think your menu's kind of glitching.
Oh, oops. Thank you. I gotta see what needs for it to happen to pass smog check. Because I need to, in California, the engine service engine light on is a fail for smog, and it wasn't going to pass smog check, so I gotta fix that too. So I gotta do a little bit of engine work, and then I gotta take off the wrap. And honestly, the reason I haven't taken it to the shop yet for the engine issues is because I used to go to this really nice Miata specialty shop, and they like the wrap. I would be very ashamed if I took it in and crispy wrap and all right now, so I would probably take off the wrap first and then bring it into the shop.
Like about 45 minutes until we reach San Jose.
Yep. So for 45 minutes, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do a approach briefing, make sure we know how we're landing, and see. So what does the D-ATIS tell us? The D-ATIS tells us, let me refresh it, San Jose, ATIS Information Alpha, 03530, 290 at 12 knots, great. That's almost straight down the runway. 10 statute miles, visibility, few, 2,000, scattered 3,500. Altimeter 2993, ILS, RNAV, Yankee, Zulu, Fairgrounds visual, runway 30 left, approaches in use, departing runways 30 left and 30 right. Okay, so we'll plan for the 30 left. Because the Defiant has tinted windows, I am very careful to use approach aids when I land, so I will ask them for probably the ILS. Let's bring up the ILS here. 30 left. The FBO that we're going to is on the left. All the general aviation stuff is on the south side of the field, so that's great. 30 left is where we want to be. Let me punch that in to this as well. And K-Lide is an IAF on the ILS runway 30 left, which is perfect. And we're direct K-Lide right now, so I think our approach. ILS 30 left, K-Lide.
Houston 6, contact personnel approach 119.6.
What I'll do is I'll go ahead and swap it to the ILS. Alright, let's see here. Approach course is 306. Very, very long runway, which is nice. We picked up the D-ATIS. Approach control on the plate is 120.1, so we have a little bit of time before we talk to them. San Jose Tower 124.0, ground control and clearance delivery. Don't care about CPDLC. It's a straight in from K-Lide. We're targeting K-Lide at 4,000. Flight slope of 3 degrees. Threshold crossing height of 54, so it's pretty benign. Descent. Our final approach fix is HIVAC at 2,700. Follow that in. The miss today is going to be a straight ahead climb to 1,900 on the San Jose radial 303, basically straight ahead, and then hold at RTAC.
If you guys are curious, if you want to look up the approach plates for an airport, you can type in FAA space TERPS.
Actually, let me see if I can bring it up.
Huh?
Let me see if I can bring it up, actually.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah. Yeah, that's a website where you can look up like all the procedures for different airports. Just look up San Jose SJC.
And I've got it loaded into my iPad, and I realized like sort of second nature, but there's no reason I can't just, let's see. There's also another site, AirNav, that's a great...
Yeah, that one too. That was probably a lot easier to navigate to.
They have links to everything. Go ahead and put that on here. Oop, it's transparent. That's okay. We'll go ahead and use it even though it's transparent. Oop. Oh, this side does not want to play well with OBS. Okay, never mind. What I'll do here is I'll just go ahead and capture this window. So yeah, this is AirNav. AirNav.com. Great. It's got a lot of information, and just as my co-pilot here was saying, it's got links to the official FAA instrument approaches. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up here, the ILS or localizer runway 30 left. That's what the ATIS has told us to expect. So just briefing the plate again. We're direct K-line, so that's exactly where we're going to go. We're at 12,000. They'll send us down. They'll give us, we're IFR, so they'll give us descent instructions. It's just a straightforward 3% or 3-degree glide path all the way down to 257 feet, which is 200 feet AGL. And let's see what this hash mark is. RVR 1800 with flight director, autopilot, or heads-up display to decision altitude. That's okay, we don't need that. It's a visual approach today. Weather is nice and clear in San Jose. There's a little bit of clouds that we might pass through, but they're over 1,000 feet above field elevation. So we'll pass right through them and then we'll pop out and we'll see the runway. Let me continue setting up the system for our approach today. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to program in our minimums. So that's going to be 260. That looks good. And if they ask us to sidestep, which I hope they don't, because then we have a more complicated taxi, that's going to be 640 is what we can go down to. We're typically flying as a Category A airplane. Alright. Are we done with all the flying tasks for today? We've got about 30 minutes left. Not true. Yeah, we've got about 30 minutes left.
Yeah, for anyone who came in,
Mike Charlie 16.5.
came in later to this stream,
650 Mike Charlie, open center, pass double south, 78988.
2988, Mike Charlie.
if you or anyone is curious about air traffic control, there is a ATC hiring subreddit and a Discord, and they have like all the information you'll ever need about how to go through the process, what the training is like, and all the details about air traffic control.
I actually really wish you guys could see our displays, but unfortunately, I think unfortunately, I think it's just a little bit too dark. We've got now that it's night, we've got the red lights up, but it's basically impossible with the vibration for this to see it. And as far as I know, there isn't any way to mirror these displays out to a computer. I can actually mirror data into them. They accept S-video and composite. They don't accept anything else, unfortunately, yet. So, but then some people have used that to display cameras from outside their planes, like a rear view camera. Moth says, usually spark plug wires need replacement. They can cause a misfire. Yes, I found this out the hard way. The check engine light actually started blinking on the Miata, and was a coil pack that needed replacing. And I didn't pull it over immediately. I pulled over at like the next freeway exit, and it killed my catalytic converter.
Oh,
so
yikes.
I've already changed my coil packs at least once. Maybe there's some crit on them again, so I will need to double check that. How are you all doing? Is anybody in chat going to, no, a couple of you at least are going to be at OffKai, and I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think, obviously there's quite a lot of sights to see, but...
Aventure 431 Romeo Alpha, contact NorCal 124.52.
124.52, 431 Romeo Alpha.
It's crazy that I can recognize who exactly that is.
Sorry. 124.52.
52.
348, 51, sending on the info with Zulu.
Bravo 2348, contact NorCal, approach on 125.1.
Oh, sorry about that. See ya.
No worries, good night.
NorCal, November 431, Romeo Alpha, 12000.
November 431 Romeo Alpha, NorCal, approach good evening, Fluent South Sunday 29908, information Alpha, Spring San Jose.
29908, and say again regarding San Jose?
November 431 Romeo Alpha, information Alpha is current.
Copy, Alpha is current at San Jose, and we'd like actually to request the ILS 30 left if possible.
November 1 Romeo Alpha, thank you, enable your third direct glide.
We are direct glide, 1 Romeo Alpha.
Thank you.
Yeah, cruising at night like this always makes me feel very nostalgic. Like when I was growing up, I would fly overseas a lot and visit family. And just like sights like this just makes me feel like that again. Flying across the world. When I was on a flight, still as a student pilot, my flight instructor asked me like what got me into aviation.
November 405 Delta Bravo NorCal, approach good evening, Fluent South Sunday 29908.
Because I lived underneath the traffic pattern of an airport, like I would just always look up and like see the airplanes flying overhead as they land. And then he replied back to me like, "No, you're the guy in the airplane flying overhead. Those kids down on the ground, and they're looking up at you." And that just like, oh man, that like hit my heart. so like this whole VTuber thing, like obviously, you know, we're down the rabbit hole and we're degenerates, but but like just when ASCII did her stream about like aviation, it just kind of reminded me of that feeling of just like rediscovering aviation and like the joy you feel when like other people are like learning all this cool stuff about aviation. So I hope like us wrapping our airplanes with anime and like VTubers will hopefully fulfill that sort of, be fulfilling in that kind of way, and just helping other people like learn that aviation is a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, I think aviation can be really hard to get into. I think it kind of takes somebody. Kind of need to already know somebody to really get into it.
Yeah, because like even me, like when I just got out of high school, it's like, okay, what the heck am I doing? Like, how exactly does this all work? Like that can be very overwhelming for like the general people, you know, and like that's sort of the joy where we come in as like, hey, you know, this is a thing that normal people can do. But don't trust sketchy flight schools that are always behind on their maintenance and ask you to drop $5,000 on the spot. But other than that, most of aviation is cool. Overlap between our flying and our hololive. Our Venn diagram is a circle.
Yeah.
I think we still have 20 more minutes before things might get busy.
Well, I think for now we're probably gonna start. We're probably gonna start getting busy soon. So
Okay, yeah.
I think you know, I'd like to keep on streaming. I think what I'll do though is maybe not talk so much. I hope you guys hear the music and you guys can just enjoy ATC with us. You know, if you do have a question, go ahead and ask it in chat. But otherwise, we're just gonna prepare our systems, and we'll see you on the other side.
Alrighty. Everything looks good. We got the ILS dialed in. for landing sites, we also have Hollister 15 miles, 12 o'clock.
Got it. Okay, about 15 minutes to landing.
Say we get
About 15 minutes to landing.
5 minutes to land.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright folks, we're actually going to stop the stream now. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate the folks who are still watching in. I am surprised that as a first time stream we got 7 viewers, so I hope you all enjoy your OffKai and enjoy your night.